The video opens with an epic montage of a WC-130J Super Hercules slicing through Hurricane Melissa's eyewall. Turbulent clouds swirling, rain lashing the windshield, overlaid with radar data and dramatic music. The scene cuts to a sleek B-21 Raider taxiing on a runway at dusk, followed by text that reads, U.S. Air Force, Guardians of the Sky, October 2025 edition. An upbeat, patriotic score builds as the narrator speaks in an energetic, authoritative voice. Imagine flying straight into the heart of a Category 5 monster, the strongest storm of 2025, where winds howl at 180 miles per hour and every second feels like a battle for survival. That's not a Hollywood blockbuster, that's the daily grind of the U.S. Air Force's hurricane hunters. Welcome back to Skyward Sentinel, your frontline view of America's Air Force in action. I'm your host Naeem, and today we're diving into the tempests, triumphs, and tough choices shaping our skies. From daring storm chases to stealth bombers on the rise, and the urgent push to reclaim air dominance, stick around, because this is the Air Force fighting for tomorrow, today. Quick cuts of F-35s in formation, pilots in cockpits, and AI server farms under construction flash across the screen with text overlay. Top stories, October 2025. The first segment begins with raw cockpit footage from the 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron's mission on October 27th. Planes bucking in turbulence, crew deploying dropsons into the storm's core. Maps show Melissa's path through the Caribbean, NOAA forecasts, and simulated crew interviews. Graphics declare, Hurricane Melissa, Cat 5 Fury, data saved lives. The narrator explains, let's kick off with heroes you might not see on the evening news but whose work saves lives and billions in damages. Just days ago, on October 27th, the Air Force's elite hurricane hunters, the 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron out of Keesler Air Force Base, plunged into the eye of Hurricane Melissa, the most ferocious storm of the year. Flying their rugged WC-130J Super Hercules from Mississippi, these reserve warriors drop sensors into the chaos, gathering real-time data for the National Hurricane Center. One mission turned hairy. Unusually brutal turbulence forced the plane to abort and limp back to base, a reminder that even the pros push the edge. But they nailed it, delivering pinpoint forecasts that helped evacuate coastal communities from Florida to the Gulf. Meet Lieutenant Colonel Sarah Reyes, lead navigator on that flight. It's like threading a needle in a hurricane. Terrifying, but when that data hits the ground and saves a family, it's why we strap in. These airmen aren't just flying. They're forecasting freedom from disaster. And with climate patterns ramping up, expect more sorties like this, keeping America one step ahead of nature's fury. A quick fact graphic appears. Hurricane hunters, 10 WC-130JS, 1000 plus missions since World War II, 100% reserve unit. Followed by pilots high-fiving post-mission. The next segment shifts to high-res renders and test footage of the B-21 Raider's maiden flights. Its sleek, shadowy silhouette against an Edwards AFB sunset. Schematics highlight stealth coatings and payload bays, transitioning to concept art of Stavati's SM-940K tanker with refueling animations. Text reads, B-21, backbone of bomber future, production ramp-up alert. The narrator continues, shifting gears to the bleeding edge of tech, because in the Air Force, yesterday's jet is tomorrow's museum piece. The crown jewel? The B-21 Raider, Northrop Grumman's stealth bomber that's set to redefine long-range strike. Back in September, the second test bird touched down at Edwards Air Force Base and aced its first flight on the 12th, smooth as silk, proving this ghost in the machine can penetrate the toughest defenses undetected. Fast forward to last week, the Air Force and Northrop are hammering out deals to crank up production, eyeing more contracts by year's end to flood the fleet faster. This isn't just a plane, it's the backbone replacing aging B-1s and B-2s, armed with precision munitions for global reach. Imagine it, dropping payloads anywhere, anytime, without a whisper. And fueling the future? Enter the next-generation air refueling system. On October 24, Stavati Aerospace threw their hat in the ring with the SM-940K, a versatile tanker that could extend the legs of F-35s and B-21s alike. With AI data centers popping up on 5 Air Force bases to supercharge these birds' brains, we're talking autonomous swarms and hypersonic hops. The message? America's skies are getting smarter, stealthier, and unstoppable. An animation shows a B-21 refueling mid-flight, HUD displays flickering with AI analytics, accompanied by the whoosh of jets and a futuristic hum. The tone turns serious with a split screen of graphs showing declining aircraft readiness, 62% mission capable in 2025, aging fleet stats versus China's growth, and Taiwan Strait simulations with F-35 scrambling. Clips from General Kenneth Wilsbaca's nomination hearing play, with text, "Air power at risk? Fixes incoming." The narrator states, "But let's get real, innovation's only half the battle." A fresh report warns the Air Force's East Asia strategy could falter against China in a Taiwan showdown, with our approach likely to fail without massive overhauls. Why? Our fleet's shrinking and graying, down to historic lows, with readiness plunging to just 62% mission capable earlier this year. Experts are sounding alarms, billions more needed to rebuild dominance, redirecting R&D cash to buy more F-15E×S, F-35s, and B-21s now. At the helm? The Senate just greenlit General Kenneth Wilsback for Air Force Chief on October 28, a Pacific Command vet ready to steer through the storm. And big moves. The service scrapped a new capabilities command in mid-October, folding it back into Air Force Futures for leaner innovation. Fueling the fire? A chronic pilot shortage, nearly 1,850 short in 2024, with over 1,100 fighter slots empty. But hope's on the horizon. Air Education and Training Command's revamped program aims to pump out 1,500 pilots a year by fiscal 2026. Blending active duty, reserves, and guard. These aren't just numbers, they're the aces who'll tip the scales in peer fights. The Air Force is adapting. America, more fighters, smarter training, unbreakable resolve. A timeline of reforms and a pilot training montage, simulators and flight lines, play as tense music swells to a resolute crescendo. The final segment softens with heartfelt vignettes. Hurricane Hunter crew debriefing with laughs and relief, a young pilot suiting up for her first solo, and airmen volunteering for new developmental roles. Stock footage showcases diverse personnel, women, minorities, families, with text, "Real stories, real impact." The narrator reflects, "Behind every headline? Extraordinary people." Take Airman First Class Garrett Vance from the 332nd Expeditionary Security Forces Squadron. He recently zapped a rogue drone mid-flight in CENTCOM using cutting-edge defeat tech, turning sci-fi into squad-level saves. Or the Hurricane Hunter's crews, whose grit in Melissa's Maw isn't just duty, it's legacy, passed from World War II vets to today's reservists balancing day jobs with storm hunts. And amid the pilot crunch, stories like Captain Jamal Torres, a fighter jock who's traded corporate offers for the cockpit. Shortage? It's a call to arms. We're building the wingman every kid dreams of being. Starting October 1st, the Air Force opened doors wider, volunteer gigs in training, intel, and cyber to supercharge careers and fill gaps. These airmen aren't stats, they're the spark keeping our wings level. Proud of you, America is. The scene closes with a slow-motion salute from a pilot and a family waving goodbye, soft piano overlaying the visuals. The video recaps with a montage, storm fly-through, B-21 shadow, pilot grins, American flag waving in the wind. Text urges, "Stay skyward, subscribe for weekly updates, #Air Force Strong," with a call to action. Like and share if you're Team USAF. The narrator concludes, "From Melissa's eye to the B-21's horizon, the U.S. Air Force is storm-tested, tech-forward, and fiercely committed to you, The American taxpayer and defender of freedom. Challenges? Sure. But with leaders like Wolfsbach incoming and pilots like Vance rising, our air power's poised for a comeback. What story fired you up most? Drop it in the comments. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you next time, keeping watch over the wild blue. This is Skyward Sentinel, where the sky's no limit. Aura! End credits briefly list sources on screen as music fades to a national anthem snippet.